Alright. So there's two VODs. Which one do you prefer looking through first?
I think the second one, like this one.
Yeah, this
I
one.
mean, if he don't play
Or-
cards, then he's dead on.
The Master Thresh one.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, then were these recorded like newly or?
Yeah, it's today.
Okay.
It's the raw game.
The Rel game is
They
the one today.
Yeah.
And what about this one? It's a
And
comp
this
game?
is like, yeah, it's comp game. It's like 1 month, 2 months ago.
Right.
1 month actually.
Alright, sounds good. And then, well, before we start, the only thing I have basically is like, what in general is like your goal, and why do you want coaching? It's like one thing.
I mean, the goal for this play at least is just hitting GM.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to get coaching, right? Because I'm kind of at the same place, especially in solo queue. So
Yeah.
I just want to get better.
Alright, and then, is there anything in particular you think you struggle with, like in your gameplay, that you want me to have a look at, or?
I think I'm not using like skill shots and spells in general with like intention. I'm
Okay.
just using them for fun, kind of. I think.
Yeah, okay. Alright, let's have a look at this then. What is this, Greek Div 2, or?
Oh yeah, it's Greek too.
So, what is your thought process coming into this lane?
So I mean, since they have like Ushname, they should have push.
Yep.
They should have control. So I just wanna like save HP so I don't get dove.
Yep.
And if they decide to invade, then we can play the invade. If we go on the first target, then we should be fine. And then we wanna play the bounce back on bot.
Yeah. I mean, in general, it's like short trades will never be good for us, right? Because Lushinami is like the best bot lane for short trades. But we can out-skirmish them, I think. So that's kind of what we have to play for, right?
Yep.
But yeah, this lane is gonna be a bit AFK first 2 levels, I imagine.
Should be, yeah.
Right, so like, yeah, one thing already is like, I mean, I don't mind if they give us the push, we should take it, right? Because I think they should get the push, agreed?
Yeah, they should have the push, but...
this Nami is like kind of trolling like crazy, because like, I think she should be contesting us, agreed?
Yeah, definitely.
And like one way to prevent her from contesting us is that when we want to out-tech, I would prefer us stepping out of the bush just slightly, to out-tech and then walk in again, because now she can see us, right? So if she is contesting us, then she can like easily out-tech us, you see what I mean?
Yeah, makes sense.
And yeah, I mean, I don't mind this, but if they start walking back like they are here, you see when you start walking forward out of the bush, I wouldn't even mind us like walking even further if we really want to, for example. Like, just test them, you know, in a sense. Because these guys are really scared. I don't even think we have to throw the hook, right? Is it like a bad idea to throw the hook? Not particularly, in a sense, right? Because if it hits, okay, we can get a good trade, like, potentially, right? But when we throw this, right, what are they scared of?
Yeah, they can just walk up and...
Right. We lose the pressure a bit, right? Because, like, now our champion is kind of useless, in a sense. Right? And if Nabi spaces like this, well, our champion is not entirely useless, right? But she should just outrange us, right? So it's like, in general, I would prefer, like, if we want to threaten them, just keep our ability, right? This is like same thing if you ever like face a blitzcrank or something like that. As soon as he throws his hook, the champion is useless. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like similar thing in this matchup, I think, for us. But we should still get level 2 here, so. It's kind of close, actually.
I think we could maybe get it, actually, if we like
get
away a bit more, then...
Yeah. It's like, I think here we should have gotten it, that's my main point, right? And here it feels like we give up the pressure, and then they can hit the wave fully, right? And then I don't know if we can get it after that, right? But, yeah. And it's like, I think it's just recognizing if we want to contest it or not after this point, right? Because, like, if we have to leave, we have to leave, right? Because the solution is, for some reason, not trading on us, agreed?
Yeah.
But this guy for sure reaches if he wants to. And we'll take it, right? Because, well, it's just lost damage on this part, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind this. If we can keep the wave here, like, I think it's good for us. Can't keep it forever, that's fine. Yeah, and I mean, preferably here, I mean, I don't think we lose a 3-3, maybe we do, you know this probably a bit better, like the limits of this
I
lane.
mean, if we go one target, then we should always win, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, right? Because I think if they're allowed to play like with this kind of wave and our Vi is just taking blue and decide to go topside scuttle, I think we're in a rough spot, agreed?
Yeah. I mean, they can just let it bounce and then we are kind of fucked.
I mean, because I think here, right, like, there is no reason for the solution to be hitting, agreed?
Yeah.
They should, like...
They're kind of griefing.
The only time where they should start hitting this is if they think Vi is, like, standing over here or something like this, right? And they're, like, you know, scared of, like, actually zoning us off, in a sense, right? And they just want to get this crash and then just leave or something, but then they should probably reset on last wave. It's like, now they're just giving us the wave, right? But I think here, we just lose a lot of minions because Vi is playing topside, right? And obviously this is not correlated to like what you're doing in a sense, but what I'm trying to say is like, this is a comp game, right? And you can easily call your jungler if you think it's a winning skirmish, you know?
And then they based like on kind of bad wave for them.
Yeah. One thing, and I'm not sure if this is something you do usually, but one thing a lot of good supports will do on this kind of wave state is that they will just sit in the third bush, and then when you hard shove like this, they will just hold the wave. And that will give their ADC a lot of tempo.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not doing that actually, man.
Yeah, it's something to do if you think you like need the reset or whatever, like if this Nami thinks he needs the reset, like sure, go for it, you know? But it's something you can do, right? Especially off sheet recalls is like can be very good, right? Instead of like roaming mid, you just sit in bot lane. And when enemy tries to hard shove to get out of the lane, they're just in a fuck spot. Yeah, I don't mind us opening like this. I mean, I think here, if Vi is gonna do this on Raptors, I think we should go with him. Because we don't need to be bot lane yet, if we don't want to. It's like, I wanna, like, the good thing here that we're doing, right, to an extent, is that we're kind of syncing up with this Vi, right, and that's good. And we can make plays with him. And as soon as we, like, leave for bot lane here and he goes Raptors, it feels like we're giving up the sync in a sense, you know? If you think we need to be bot lane here, that's fine, like, then we go bot lane. But then I think it's better for Vi to also go bot lane, and I think, if not, you go with Vi on Raptors and then you go bot lane together. See? It's like, now we're, like, theoretically you're standing around for, like, 3-5 seconds, or, like, even more, right? Because the Vi is not here, ready yet. See?
Yeah. And we could, like, instead of the invite, we can just run bot.
Yeah, for example.
And then it's really good.
Yeah, this guy should just be dead.
Yeah, the classic.
Right, not bad. Did we consider diving him here, or no?
Not really, actually.
Why not?
I mean, the initial thought process was just do Drake.
Yeah.
Since we outscale them, so like, getting the first Drake, it's kinda good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the correct play to dive him. I'm just saying I think we should consider it. Because it's like, I think with Wukong being bot side, etc., like I think, yeah, the dive will probably not work right. And maybe if the wave was better for mid lane, so you could have rotated a bit later, then maybe as well. But it's something to at least, like, you know, consider, like, okay, wait, is Wukong topside, for example? Do we have mid push? Like, then we could easily dive him, right? And then we could easily sound them off the wave as well, and they're completely fucked in bot lane.
Yep.
Do we think we win the 2v2 now, or no?
I'm not sure. I think they still win.
Okay. What is the plan then?
I mean, since Vi is pinging to invite or like go behind them, we wanna get a push.
Okay. Can you get the push if you lose the 2v2?
I don't think so. We can.
Yeah. I mean, these guys play like they want to give you the push, so that's of course great. But yeah. And it's like maybe they are scared of Vi, for example, right? Because Wukong is top lane, and that would make sense, right? For example.
Yeah.
But it's something to consider, right? That like, if this Vi goes to invade right now, and we cannot get the push in the 2v2, then, you know, it could be awkward. Yeah, I don't mind this. The only thing is I would like us to push this wave a bit slower, only so that Ori could sync up on it a bit easier. But otherwise, I mean, this play is generally good. Wukong is bot side now. I mean, I guess we get 1 for 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And he should lose the wave.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not great though. Don't know how that happened, but either way. I don't love this play. I think it can go horribly wrong. I mean, I assume Azir ulted to kill Ori, probably. Otherwise...
I don't think so, actually.
Yeah, well then I think it's a bit of a disaster potentially, you know? Because there's no way you win this 2v2, no?
No, I mean, if I hit the hook, then I think we do, but like it's...
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you can one-tap someone, but like, this guy's playing like, yeah, as if he has ult here as well, and he wants to shuffle you. And the truth is, if he just, like, if he does have ult and he also into the wall here, you're both dead. Agreed.
Yeah.
Because neither of you have flash. It's like, if you think you win the 2v2, like, potentially, like, I don't mind the play, right? But it's like, there's a lot of things wrong with the play, I think. It's like, Wukong is still bot side, and we know that. Like, if Azir has ult still, like, that's another thing. We don't have flashes, etc., right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot that can go wrong here. And I mean, it's kind of close to going wrong. Yeah, I mean,
if Azir played it a bit better, then we are both dead.
Yeah, this Azir played it a bit horribly, but we take it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, what is the plan now?
There is like Grubs spawning, so I potentially wanna look top since I've nothing to do on bottom yet.
Okay.
So I just open top and see.
So one thing I don't love in general, this is like Thresh specific, is that it feels like we often look to open up with hook, which I don't think we need to do. Like for example here, I would like, unless you think he's like gonna Q over the wall, for example, and we need to like try and predict it to catch him, then I think we don't open up with hook here. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I can just hold the hook, then like Volk me.
Because like another thing as well is that whenever people know you have like lantern or hook and you're just walking at them, like they have to like start like position in a different way. But as soon as you don't have hook anymore, they don't have to be as scared. I mean, this guy's clone, so I don't like hate it, but I mean, the hook is like never gonna work right. But if we wanna look, it's like,
I mean,
yeah, go.
Even if I hit the hook, then like he just doubles now, and it's
yeah. I mean, he uses double use the hook, right? And it's like if he doesn't have clone for some reason, then I think instead we use flash on him, right? Like,
yeah,
we use flash E him and then hook, and then he's dead. I mean, I don't hate this. And we should get the grubs here. And this is like the downside to like, there's two downsides to taking grubs, right? One is that this will happen bot lane often, so like one important thing, if we can, going into the grubs, is that we always want bot prior, right? Same thing with Herald. If we can't get the bot prior, one thing is that they will get the push and they can threaten to dive, they can threaten to like whatever, right? They can also just take the push and rotate their ADC, and then we're one man down. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So bot lane like prior coming into grubs, super important, right? And it's like if this Aphelios can slow push here and get the crash like he does here, right? And then we can do the grubs, like it can be really good, right? In a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I could even base like insta after we kill the Seju, and then like I'm here.
Yeah. And
like for example, I'm not really sure why we decided to fight, but
yeah, because this fight
he wanted to fight.
Really great threat. The 2v2 is winning, I think, but they need to make this play right, or they don't
also
need
my
to.
Y is in base.
Yeah, because I mean, right here we're taking grubs, right? They know we're like playing top side, right? This means like we are not allowed to trade here at all. This is like the number one thing. And if we need to back off and give this wave, we give this wave, right?
Yeah.
And like on top of this, like Ori is, well, I'm not sure if it's Ori, but someone is pinging. Azir can be moving as well, right? Which is so.
Yeah.
And that's just a general thing, right? If we're playing on the weak side in the moment, right, we just can't be allowed to trade. Unless we think enemies like completely griefing and we can one-tap them, of course. Like, I'm not saying if they're griefing and we can kill them, of course go kill them, you know? I mean, it's like similar thing to before. I mean, I think it works out fine, right? But I would just walk out the E probably first.
Yeah.
But it's like a minimal thing. Like it works out anyways, right? So how come we swap here?
I think so.
No, how come we do it?
Since I mean we see Seju having 0 mana and like she's full AP, and we have tempo on board and top.
Okay.
And there's like Herald spawning, right?
Yeah. The only thing like that I don't like hate this swap. The only thing that I don't like about it is that I think we're currently winning in top lane and I think we're winning in bot lane, like these two lanes. Because now Aphelios as collector. Maybe I would imagine you win the all in at least. I could be wrong though.
I think we do.
Yeah, so then it's like I feel like we're giving up 2 winning lanes, right? To trade so that we have 1 losing lane and 1 winning lane, right? Which doesn't make sense to me. And I get that, okay, Herald is spawning, and theoretically I don't think the swap is like a bad timer for us in that sense, right? Like, it makes sense on the timer. But I think they have more to gain from it than we have. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And also, since we are stronger on bot, at least in Owen, we can just push bot and then move mid.
Right.
And it's
like another thing, right? We can get the bot prior if we want to, right? Because, like, I mean, it's good that the Lucian is dead, right? Because that means they can't get the bot prior, right? But if the Lucian was, like, alive, I don't know, 20 seconds beforehand, then they get the push and they move here, then we can't even do Herald anymore. Unless Ornna's TP, which maybe does, right? But it's, like, still a bit awkward.
Yeah.
But I mean, in general here, I would just hard force on the cross map. Yeah, I think this is good. Why are we scared?
Do you think I'm not really sure. That's my question. Like, if we should go more.
Yeah, of course we should. Like, there's... Okay, Herald is good for 2 things, right? Herald is, 1, good to break open the map, right? Which is, like, often for mid-tower, right? I mean, it's, I guess, 3 things. The second would be, like, taking prior before Drake, right? But that's, like, a fake thing, I think. And that's just cheating. But it's like, and the third thing is you can always make a good trade with Herald, right? If these guys go 1 turret here, we can go 2 turrets. Right? They cannot match this because Herald charges OP, right? So the only thing we do here is that 1, we push this wave, and then we spawn the Herald, right? And what I would do is I would just drive the Herald, but I wouldn't drive it into the first tower, I would drive it into the second one, so we get 2 charges on that one.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, then I think we for sure get 2 towers, and tier 2 is like way more OP than a tier 1.
Yeah,
like, and it's not even close, right? Because tier 2 gives like, I don't know, 700 gold or something, right? So that shit is OP, right? And the tier 1 doesn't like, out turret tier 1, this shit is irrelevant. The only thing this is good for is the first blood turret, which is nice that we got, right? I'm not gonna say it's not. But after that, like, I do not care, to be honest. Like, I don't care that they get a tier 1 bot here, right? For example.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't care either, right? So we're not even going bot lane, right? But I think just considering the fact that there are 2 people showing bot lane right now, and like, I don't think we have anything to be scared of, right? It's like, there's no way this Azir should be allowed to walk up either, I think. Agreed? Like, the only thing that, if this Azir starts walking up, the Vi just moves down, and like, he meets the Ahri in the middle, and they just kill the Azir. Like, we have 4 versus 3 in top side right now. So.
Yeah. And I mean, there's no reason to use Herald on TP1.
Yeah, if we're only going the tier 1, then we save the Herald, for sure. Because now we use the Herald and we get an even trade. Like, the only thing that we get a bit out of it is tempo, but we will get tempo anyways because we have Herald recall and they don't. I mean, this is fine. What is the plan now?
I think it's just getting mid push into hovering bot so we can get the bot turret.
Okay. What is our vision line? Because that's something to consider, right?
Yeah, so since, I mean, I'm not sure, like...
Yeah. It's like, in general, right, I want 2 vision lines. This is how I like to do it, at least, right? And, I mean, I'm not saying you should set it up by yourself or anything like that. Vision line number 1, right? This is control watch, because this helps us clear out enemy that is trying to enter our vision line, right? And it's just gives a good base, right, in that sense. And vision line number 2 is normal watch, right? And the question is just where do we want that, right? And if we're gonna rotate the bot lane, we agree it should not be in river. That, like, we have our deepest vision line in, agreed?
Yeah.
Right, so it has to be at least an enemy jungle. I don't care if it's over here. right? In that sense, the only thing is that they could potentially fall behind. If we feel like we're confident that we can place Vision over here, we do that. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because I think here it's like, one thing that I do not like that much. It's like we get this pick, so we're clear man advantage, and then we place like really, or not defensive Vision, right? But not as aggressive as we could. Here I like it, right? But it's like, now they just clear it out because we're not willing to contest. Like, I would just skirmish over this, to be honest. If they walk in here and Asir is dead, like, I would just fight.
Let's here we go.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess the Vi got chunked a bit, so that's why we don't want to do it, and Ori is bot lane, and he just wants to take towers, so it's like not terrible in that sense, right? We get the objective we wanted, right? But I don't think it's like that bad to fight here if we want to. And it's like, the orange should also just rotate and not take this wave, I think.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, but this overall is fine. What is the goal now?
I mean, there's Drake spawning, so I think we wanna play for that.
Okay. How do we do that?
I mean, top should just push one more wave, then move mid. I think we wanna play through mid, this Drake.
Yeah, 37 seconds, yeah. I mean, in general, I mean, we'll talk about a bit general macro, right? Because it's a comp game, and then we can talk more about solo queue stuff after, or like for the next one. But it's like, in general, like, when do you think you should like be on the mid wave, like coming into Drake?
If they have like some threats, like they can like engage on us, then I should be like standing on the mid wave.
No, but I mean, when do you think you should? Like, how long before?
1 minute 20 at least.
Yeah, I mean, the general answer is always gonna be, as long as we're ahead of enemy, we're gonna be winning on it, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
That's like the number one answer, right? Because if we, for example, like, use our time to, like, invade enemy bot side right here, and then push a mid wave, and then we take a reset ahead of them, even if we're like, okay, here, 55 seconds till Drake, maybe we're a bit late, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
It's not like perfect, but if they have to take a reset after this, right, because they are still on map, for example, maybe Nami doesn't have wards, whatever, then it's good for us, agreed?
Mm-hmm.
It's just in general, we want to be the first one to take a reset, right? And then if we can keep them on the map, that's completely fine, right? In general. But what I don't like here is that I don't think there's a reason for Ornn to go top. I mean, he realized it as well now. And it's like, I think we're a bit late, right? Because enemy does not have to take a reset, right? So that's something to consider. And it's like, now, since we don't have position, how do we want to play this?
We wanna contest the mid wave. And then we can like decide if we wanna like go for turret or just face check with like Ornn. I think we win the fight always.
Yeah.
So we just wanna contest mid wave, wait till Ahri like sinks.
Yeah. I think, well, there's a few things here. One is I would just call the Ori to TP because we want to contest on this wave, agreed?
Yeah.
The other thing is that maybe if we feel like they need to wait Vi or Aphelios assault, then we would give this wave, but then it's a bit awkward, I think. Then they can just take the Drake, and I think it's hard for us to walk in. And it's like, I mean, I wouldn't go for this hook. I think this hook is like Loki suicide, and we're lucky that Nami is allergic to hitting bubbles.
Yeah, I mean, they can just surge ult me and I'm dead. Like,
yeah, maybe we're not dead, right? Potentially. Like, I think we can live, but we're taking a good chunk of damage, right? Yeah. And this is unnecessary, right?
And we are not like in position to like fight back since Ahri is still moving.
Yeah, right. And the thing we generally want to look for here, right, since we do not have position, as soon as these two mid waves are gone, you agree they will just walk into river, and it's hard for us to walk in after, right?
Yeah.
So what we want is we want to fight on this mid wave, right? Agreed? Because if we can threaten them off this mid wave, then it means, okay, maybe we can just push mid, maybe we can... Like, if they decide to just go around and then catch the mid wave, then we're first on position again. If they just decide to contest it, then we get an even fight, right? Because then they're not using their positional advantage, right? Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
So, in general, this is the, like, wave we want to fight on, right? Because Drake is spawning on, like, after this wave, right? That's why I want the Ori to TP potentially as well. And if we think we need to wait Vi ult, then, well, that's another thing, right? Then it's unfortunate, right? But at least, like, threaten a bit, yeah. So here, with Lucian being out of position, I mean, you ping it as well. We should just walk in.
Yep.
Because this is awkward now. Now they just had the position, and someone could just be doing Drake.
I mean, they should just be doing Drake. This is like weird.
Like, in general, they don't need to do 5-man Drake, but they just need some, like, they could just send someone to solo it, right? Like, they have Wukong, right? So Wukong could just potentially solo it, maybe with Lucian, or maybe with Azir. And like the rest of them just hold you out. And there's like no way you're just walking in, right? Like you can see how much damage the Warren takes here. And we're lucky this guy decides to eat the hook, right? But yeah, it's
so
a bit
you can just not do that, and like then it's really good for them.
Right, because they don't need to walk into us ever, right? They just need to be doing what they're doing exactly here. Because right now, the Ornn is struggling to walk in, right? And it's like, as long as Ornn struggles to walk in, no one can walk in, right? So here, if the queue... Sejuani doesn't queue in for zero reason, right? We're just never getting in. Agreed?
Yeah.
No, so and then it's like, in general, right here, we had an opportunity to walk in, right? Because we had the mid push, right? And the Lucian is responding to said mid push, right? So if we just brute force and walk in here, or try to like, or we just use Ornn ult or something like this, then we can win. Agreed?
Yeah.
But I see us pinging as well in the chat. Okay, one is like we're pinging Vi ult, and then the next is we're pinging Ori Flash, and we can't wait for everything. That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Right, because
that's
time is not
for
on
stuff.
our side.
And then we win the fight, because like, I think at this point we just outscaled.
Yeah, I mean, if we get a pure front to back, I think a lot of time we're gonna win. The general thing, and this is why Lucian Nami is not like super strong if you're not playing at top level, right? Is that this champion needs to play super slow, but he needs to play on rotations, right? So for example, when you step up on mid wave, he needs to poke you, right? And when like you're playing around Drake, you play on one spell rotation, and then he steps back again, and then he keeps doing that, right? Because he has huge bursts of damage, but he does not have consistent damage, right?
Yeah.
So that's like the thing, right? But if the fight is fast, like it is here, we're always gonna win. Because we use some more DPS. That's like why, once again, I just want us to force a fight. And, I mean, here, like, we have to recognize what our role is in the fight, right? As Thresh, we don't do that much in a sense, right? Like, because our job is often to just peel.
Yeah.
But I want us to think about, okay, who is a threat on enemy team, right? Because you agree the number one person you need to peel is Aphelios, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the Ori is like not a real carry, even if she is like, and she's like really fed, she's still a ult, right?
Yeah, she can just get out.
Right, so we peel this Aphelios, right? That's like the number one thing, right? And then the question I want you to ask is, who are we peeling him from, right? Because most of the time, for example, we're not going to peel him from Lucian, agreed? Like, Lucian should not be in a position to hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to ask ourselves, okay, one, can Azir ever shuffle him, right? If he's standing like this, agreed he cannot.
No.
Yeah, and then number two is, can Wukong ever jump on him, right? These are the number two threats for, like, Aphelios, right?
Yeah.
So, for all I care, if the fight is like Ornn is main engaged and then we follow up on Vi ult and then they just dive enemy backline, all you need to do is make sure that this Wukong does not disrupt this Aphelios. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because even if like we're diving in and this guy doesn't like actually kill the Aphelios and he's just like creating space so Aphelios can't walk in, or same thing, if Ori cannot walk in, then it's a problem. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because then we're not following up on the damage. So our job is to make sure this guy does not do his job. Agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all I want us to think about. And this guy is not doing his job in this fight, right? Because he's just kind of standing AFK and he doesn't know what to do. So that's good. But what I mean by this, right, is that I don't think we need to, for example, like, flay this guy even, like here, or like attempt to flay him.
Right? Yeah, because I should just hold my...
Yeah, and then if we want to, we just walk at the Wukong as well, right? Like, for example, or, I mean, generally, when peeling, we don't, like, completely walk at one person, right? But it's like, we walk towards our carries, but it's like, okay, if we need the like flay, for example, or to peel, then we save it to peel. But I mean, the fight is good anyways, right? But this is like, in general, it can be nice to think about, okay, like generally when team fighting, right, we think about first what our role is in the team fight, and then also what our role is for our abilities, right? Because if we need an ability to peel with, then we need to save that ability.
Yeah.
And our hook we can use for whatever we want, for picks, whatever, etc. And that's good. Alright, after Drake, what is our goal?
So, I think that, I mean, there's Nash spawning in one, so we want to prepare for that. But I think, instead of just opening mid, I think I should just open top with Y. So we, like, defend the top dive, like, because they have tempo now, right? And they will most likely, like, move top, so I think going top is actually better, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. You go.
Yeah, I think that's it, like...
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, there's two things we want to do. One is, like you say, we want to prepare this Nash, right? The other thing is, like, okay, we want to get the Drake, because if we get Soul, we don't need Nash, agreed?
Yeah.
Like, so we can prepare the Nash, right? And if we can get it for free, we can get it, right? But we don't want to flip the game over it, right? Because the game is free if we wait 4 minutes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing is we want to get this mid tower, right? If we get this mid tower, we win. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because then we have Ori Vida can flank, and then it's like super hard for them to play, and then Lucian cannot do his job. Because as I said, Lucian needs to stand on mid wave, and he needs to poke us whenever we walk on the mid wave as well, right? And if he does not have a tower to lean back on, then he can no longer do his job, right? And then we win. Because the Lucian champion is useless, and his build is like atrocious as well. I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, yeah.
But we take it, right? But it's like... So in general, here, I don't hate us opening mid, right? The number one thing we have to ask ourselves is like... where is the pressure on the map, right? Do I agree? Okay, they could potentially look for a top dive here, yeah? But as I said, I do not give a shit about this top lane tower. This top lane tower is useless to me, right? Because it doesn't actually do anything, right? It gives them a bit of gold, and that gold is irrelevant, right? Because, like, for all I care here is if they go top lane like they are, then we use brute force mid lane. Right? And Azir could be top lane here, together with, like, Wukong, right? And if anyone else is there, then we can do whatever. And the truth is, this orange should just never die to this. This is just...
I mean, Anstre, he just Eason, I think, or something.
Yeah, and that's like, you know, that's not on your fault or anything like that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's like, should you be top lane? I mean, if you think the goal is to defend this top lane tower, yes, you should be top lane. But I don't think that should be the goal. Agreed?
Yeah.
Because we want
Aqsept can just stay and we get the mid turret.
Yeah.
And then it's like, good.
Yeah, it's like, because here, it's like, I don't even think Ori needs to go bot lane, right? The only thing we do here is that Vi goes mid lane, and then we stay here, and then Ori goes here as well, and then we use brute force this tower. And if they decide to respond to this by going into mid lane, then we go into side lane.
Yeah.
We put pressure first on mid lane, because we agree right now this Aphelios is the win condition, right?
No.
When Aphelios is the win condition and we get prior from mid, we play from mid, right? If we play through side lane, then we're gonna struggle, because this is their win condition, agreed? Ornn is not winning on side lane. Right, and Ahri will probably win on side lane because Ahri is kind of strong, right? So in general, we just, preferably first, we put Ahri on the strong side lane, right? Because we want to play into top lane, agreed?
Yeah, ideally.
Yeah, so that's like one thing, right? And the other thing is like, we always want to push into mid and move towards Ahri, unlock the Ahri can move.
Yeah.
And then we can force mid lane. And if we need to help out this Ornn for whatever reason, like if he's bot lane here, let's say, then we just do the same thing, where we open, like, we push one mid, we go top, we unlock this Ahri, we go into mid lane, then we go bot lane one wave. We unlock this guy, and then we go mid lane again, and then we force. Make sense?
Yeah.
It's just like, we take turns unlocking lanes, and we just have to ask ourselves, when we're opening up on the map, where are we strong, and where should we put pressure, right? Where can we, like, easily get the prio, right?
Yeah.
Because we can easily get the prio, I mean, basically anywhere we want, if we want to, right? But we just decide, in this kind of game state, we just decide on one point, right? And often that point is always easiest going to be mid lane, because there you can respond anywhere through the map. And it's like, in general, that's also like the point where, like, how do I explain it? Like, in general, waves arrive mid lane first, right? So if we take the mid lane wave first, like, we're going to be able to rotate to side lane on the same wave. Yeah. No, so it's like, if we lose the top lane tower here, I don't really care. I mean, I think this is like, I mean, Arya managed to solo kill, which is like, or no, never mind. What does happen here? I thought Sejuani was, but either way. Yeah, we killed the Sejuani, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're keeping it up, but yeah, I mean, this is like fine, right? It's like...
This sequence is just weird, like...
Yeah, it's a bit strange, right? But it's like, in general, right? Like, I would just have preferred us to say mid, and if Aphelios has an item spike, which is what he had, right? That's why he wanted to reset, I get it, right?
Yeah.
And then, if our goal then is like, coming out on the map over here, right? Our goal is to let Aphelios take like one wave, and then we start playing for our goals, right? Like, which is mid-tower Nash, right? Because if we want him to get an item, then sure, we can open top lane, because we just play defensive on one wave. We let Aphelios, like, get his item, right? Or he could cover one mid-wave, and then we just play after that. And we get the mid-tower here, we start Nash. What is the plan for this Nash? What are we doing? Like...
I mean, if they don't fucked up, then, like, we should just get all of the tier 2s, I think.
No,
maybe we can, I mean...
Yeah.
We are starting since Azir is bot, and we think that he has no TP, and like suggest that.
Okay.
So, and we have pretty good turn, so we are just starting, and if they contest, then we fight.
Okay. What is the like line we turn on?
Like the ping ward, like the ping line. I think.
So like this guy's right now not over the line, but if he walks over that like Ornn Q, he will be over the line, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, here he squeezed for fun, so that's great.
I mean...
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't mind it, but this is something to communicate about, right? And once again, understanding our rules, right? Because, like, for example, us, if Vi is tanking, we don't actually need to beat in Nash. Our champion is fucking useless at hitting Nash, right? Agreed.
Yeah, I could just stand in the bush.
Right, so if we want to, like, if we think this is, like, the line we play through, like, once they cross this, then we fight. Okay, that's fine, right? Then we can play, like, over here, something like that, right? Agreed?
Yeah.
And if we think the line is, like, literally the entrance, then for all I care, we stand here. Right? And then Ornn could be standing here with us, right? And then when they do walk, we use Lantern someone, and then they just die. Agreed? Because Vi will use Q, ult, and then we will Lantern Aphelios, and then we will, like, Ahri will fly at them as well, right?
Yeah, it's, like, illegal that they can walk this close, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, as long as he doesn't get to the Nash, I don't care. As long as we agree on, like, the point where it's like, what should be free. That's all I care about.
So, my, like, thought process in the game was that we can just go top, like, give one mid, like, since they can already get the mid turret, I don't think we can fight. We have, like, no tools. So, I mean, we can just, like, Ahri can just go mid, since she has TP, I think. I'm not sure,
but yeah.
Yeah, actually, but someone can just go mid, and then we can go for top, and just get the tier 2 top, since they're making play mid. But I'm not sure what happened in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit awkward, right? So, I mean, in general, there's a few plays. One is like, okay, we killed the Wukong, right? So if we want to immediately, like, do something with it, I don't hate it, right? In that sense.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we want to, like, okay, we killed the Wukong and we just got top lane, like, that can be fine, right? We will give them the mid tower, like you say. Maybe they will get the mid tower anyways, but I think if they take this mid tower and we reset, and we're out on the map, and they have to reset, then we should just, like, then we have full control over the map, and they trolled. The number one thing, like, in Nash, especially when you play against Nashor, if you're enemy here, they cannot give up tempo. Whenever they give up tempo against Nash, they lose. Agreed?
Yeah.
Right. It's like same thing as playing against Herald, right? Whenever you have the dash, you will always just it's impossible to take a losing trade, right? Unless you fight. And it's like with the so it's like even more extreme in that sense. I mean, I don't like what you go.
And then they got like punished because like they stayed.
Yeah, I mean that's great. It's like because my thought process here is just that like it's a bit awkward what we're doing, right? Because like one person resets and then or two people reset and one person goes top and like one person goes mid and we're just standing around, right?
Yeah.
And so realistically here, like if they don't decide to suicide here on the mid wave for fun and they just take the mid wave and then go reset and then like push out bot lane wave as well, then we're just wasting time on Nash. Agreed?
Yeah.
So it's like if we want to instantly go into top here, we all do it, right? Like in a sense, or like Ornn goes mid lane maybe, right? But it's like then the question is just how much can we get from top lane as well, right? Because if like they get a mid tower from it, let's say, and we get like a top lane tower, I don't really love it because then off the top lane tower we have to reset and then we have to do it over again. Agreed?
Yeah.
So it's like I'd rather just reset. Someone goes top lane to fix this wave, right? That's how you play Nash, right? So you just fix this wave and then you go play these two lanes. Right, so you play...
Yeah, you just fix top and then like...
Yeah, exactly. So Ornn would probably do it, right? Because he's like, he has TP and he just got out on the map, right? And it's like, someone just fixes it, and then it's like, if they just stay for this mid tower, right? Like, you can already see us walking out, they would have to walk back a bit, and then they would have to reset. So by the time they're all back out on the map, we're already sieging the tower, right? Agreed? Yeah. Then we already have full vision. If they lose the vision in their jungle, right? Agreed, they can never walk in.
Yeah, it's like impossible.
And they can never get the prio into the vision because we have Nash, agreed?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they're just like fully losing, right? Because they can do nothing about the siege. So the only thing they can do at that point is they can go top lane and they can look for a trade. But if we set up this wave beforehand, they can't even do that. Agreed?
Yeah.
So they're fucked. And it's nice that we like end up taking a winning fight here, like because enemy trolls straight. But yeah, it's a bit sloppy. And do we end up this or? No. So once again, this is like a bit awkward. Because like Ahri decides, okay, I need to reset because I have no resources, which can be fine. And Ornn decides I need to go bot lane for whatever reason. And so we don't really get that much from this, right? And then once again, we're just resetting and we don't get that much from Nash.
It's just weird. Yeah,
so like... I don't care what we do, right? It's like, once again, I would rather just do the same thing. If Ahri needs a reset, like, that can be fine. But, like, I would want to stay on the map, preferably after this push, right? Because I assume they use some ults here as well.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. I mean, we saw the Azir ult, and hopefully they use Sejuani ult or something like that. Right?
Yep.
If we're scared of fighting for some reason here, then, I mean, that's another thing, right? But I don't feel like we should be. The only thing, I mean, I guess Aphelios is still on the map, which is the awkward thing. But yeah, it's like it feels like we don't
Okay,
get
so-
as much as we could. Yeah, go.
So like right now, like I'm just saying that we should go like 1 mid and then like 4 bot, get the last tier 2 turret since the wave is fine.
Okay.
But I'm not sure like if this is like good what we are doing.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
the number one thing
yeah.
is that I don't know who shot calls in this team, right? But if you
it was
usually,
me.
if
Yeah,
you
it was
usually
me.
shot call and these guys are doing this, they're trolling. Like, because it's like, I mean, once again, I do not give a shit about what's correct or what's not correct, right? If we are doing 5 different things, we're not gonna do anything, right? That's like the number one thing, right? So if like we're calling, okay, we go bot lane here. I don't think it's the correct play. Like I can explain why. I'll do it in a second, right? But it's like, yeah, I think it's like a bit troll that we're just going mid lane, and it's not like it's a bad play in that sense, right? But it's just like, yeah, it's a bit off, right?
And then we like
yeah, and that's great, right? But it's like, and the reason why I don't like going bot lane, it's good that we go bot lane. That's not the point, but we shouldn't go 4 people bot lane. Only thing we do is that we go 4 people mid lane, 1 person goes bot lane, we prepare this wave. When we crash on mid lane, then we rotate 3 people, and 1 person stays and buffs the wave. Because if we only send 1 person mid, let's say, right, and 4 people go bot lane, we can crash this, but they will just get the push in mid lane, right? We can't realistically contest 1v4, agreed?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they will get the push, and then they will rotate, and then it's like we're just playing 5v4.
Yeah, makes sense.
And if we prepare the mid lane wave first, and then we just sync the waves, right, and they try to overload on bot lane, right, where we preferably should have vision, right, then, okay, the only thing we do is we just run it down mid lane, right, and they have to respond, otherwise we will end the game.
Yep.
And it's the same thing as before, right, since mid wave arrives before bot lane wave, right, we go mid lane first, and then when we crash, they have to, like, defend, and when they're defending, then we just rotate. So that means we can hit the bot lane tower when they're rotating. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, and here we end. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right. Any other questions on this game or no?
I don't think so.
Right. Let's look through the other one then, yeah.